Howdy. I hope if I'm doing this right, you're seeing the screen that has the words ethical dilemma on it, which hopefully I'm doing this right. And in the last conversation, I was talking about what it means to be ethical, and that I said I believe the definition is doing the right thing when nobody is watching, because I think that is the easiest, best definition for ethics. And the book makes the point that for some things it is easy, like the example I gave of helping an old lady who drops her food who across the street or drops something, helping her get her stuff back. Everybody knows that's a good thing to do, but that there are things that we don't know what is the best thing to do, and that is the point of that slide. The term stakeholders. A stakeholder is anyone who is affected by an organization. So the example I wrote in here is that many of you shop at Carrefour, I'm sure you do. As a customer, you are a stakeholder. So as a student, you are a stakeholder. So the word stakeholder simply means you are affected by the organization. And it's important that you know the difference between what's considered to be a primary or secondary stakeholder. So let's stop the share for a bit here. A primary stakeholder is somebody who is directly affected by the organization. So you and I are primary stakeholders in UAEU. You as a student are the customer of the university, and I as an employee I'm an employee, I'm getting paid by the university. So we are what are considered to be primary stakeholders. We are directly affected by how the organization works, okay? But there are also what are considered to be secondary stakeholders. Secondary stakeholders are the outer community that's affected but not necessarily directly affected, okay? So the city of Al Ain is a secondary stakeholder for UAEU. So if UAEU shut its doors tomorrow, there's a lot of people who live here in Al Ain who are connected to the university. The students, the faculty. At one time we were you know, there's, I don't even know the total number of people who work at UAEU, but it's a lot. And so if UAEU shut its doors tomorrow, it'd have an impact on the city. It just would, okay? So they are considered a secondary stakeholder because they're affected. You and I are primary stakeholders. If UAEU shut its doors tomorrow, then you and I would be, you would be like, I need to find a new place to go for school. And I'd be like, I need to find a new job. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I not only have a UAEU shirt, but I have shirts with me that, see this, Hamilton College? There's a reason I'm wearing that shirt today. You see, Hamilton College was a place I taught at in America. Yeah, it's a place I taught at in America. And the actual building that I taught at, long story short, Hamilton College is gone now, gone completely. And so, yeah, so the stakeholders, the people who were connected to them, it's sad for the people who liked what Hamilton College was. And I'm one who very much misses the people, everything. So yeah, stakeholders, anyone affected by an organization. Primary, you're directly affected. Secondary, you're not directly affected, but you're definitely affected. So the joke I like to make is, if UAEU shut its doors tomorrow, Rashid Ali would notice, because they would get a whole lot less business. Yeah. So yeah, Rashid Ali jokes. That's a good sign of how long I've been a student here, or been a student here. Been living in Al Ain. Okay, let's go back to sharing. Okay, so you shop at Carrefour, you're a stakeholder. Stakeholders are as a student, you're a customer. I am an employee. The people who sell paper to UAEU are suppliers and distributors, and the people in management, all the people who are not teaching here, support staff, whatever, they are all stakeholders as well. And then we come to the word stockholder. Students often confuse the word stockholder and stakeholder. Stockholders are people who own part of the company, okay? Not every company you can buy stock in. So the word stockholder and shareholder mean exactly the same thing, and it just means that you own part of the company. So the example I used, and by the way, it's not 2,000 dirhams anymore for Apple. It's a long story for Apple. If you had, I think last I checked, it'd be about 500 dirhams at this point, and the timestamp on this is that it is October 2020 as I'm telling you this. But you can buy stock, you can buy shares of Apple. Yeah, so that would make you a part owner. So the words stockholder and shareholder mean exactly the same thing. To be a stockholder means you own a part of the company, and it's not 2,000 dirhams now, it's more like 500 today, and that makes you a part owner. And so as a part owner, your goal is to see your company make a profit. And stockholders are also stakeholders because they're affected by the company. I pretty much rewrote this slide from scratch, so that's why you're getting it as it is. Managers are those who are, managers are the people above you in the company, and so obviously they are stakeholders in the company. As an employee, I'm very much a stakeholder in UAEU, and yeah, that's a good, I'll get to that. I'll talk about employees more in a minute. Suppliers and distributors, who you buy from is, who you buy from is a stakeholder. Because again, so actually I'm gonna end the share again here. No, actually I want to get through them all. Customer is the most critical stakeholder. I firmly believe this, and here's where I'm gonna stop the share. Of all the stakeholders we've talked about, customers are the most important ones, because if you don't have any customers, you go out of business. And so I like asking when I do this in class, when I show this in class, I like asking, you're the customer of UAEU. Is UAEU treating you as if you're the most important stakeholder? And UAEU does some things great and some things it doesn't do so great. And I hope we do better. One of the things that we're not so great at UAEU is treating customers as the most important stakeholder. Now, for the record, not everybody views customers as the most important stakeholder. A guy by the name of Richard Branson, he started Virgin Airways, Virgin, everything you see Virgin. So the Virgin store, everything you see Virgin is part of Richard Branson. Richard Branson's take on life, on stakeholders, is that the most important stakeholder is the employee. So his belief is that you have to treat your employees well, and if you treat your employees well, then they will automatically treat the customers well. You've got to be good to your employees, and if you do right by them, they're going to do right by the customers. That's it. I've heard Howard Schultz of Starbucks say the same thing. I've heard, there's an argument to be made that the most important stakeholder is the customer, which at UAEU, that's you, and there's an argument to be made that the most important stakeholder is the employees, So at UAEU, that would be me, okay? But anyhow, which one you believe, that's up to you. And when you go to work somewhere, though, as a customer, right now, you want to be the most important thing, and as an employee, I tell you, I want to be considered the most important. The next video is going to be all about the moral dilemmas, how you solve that, and that is. I have several friends who teach in philosophy. If I had the time, I would interview them for how they answer this, because that, to me, would be interesting. I'd like to hear from my friends who teach in philosophy here how they answer the slide that shows ethical decision making that you're going to see, that I'll talk about in the next video. I don't know. How do you define what is the right ethics? Think about that. It's coming up in the next video.